Hey guys, it's Gandalver again. Welcome back to another Commander deck tech. This week we're doing Riku of Two Reflections. I know that there's a very old and very out of date tech already on the channel, as well as a video about why I will probably never play Riku again. But, you know, after doing all of that, I kind of was like, shit, let me remake the deck. Anyways, this is Riku of Two Reflections. It's Wizard Tribal, but it's still wanting to focus on copying instants and sorceries as well as cloning creatures. So let's get into it. First, we've got Arcanus the Omnipotent. Now, although you won't be able to make a copy of him with Riku, lets you draw a bunch of cards, which lets you get options. Always great. Also, he can protect himself by bouncing himself back to the hand. The only downside is he costs 3 and 3 hard blue, but the deck's primarily blue, so you shouldn't have too much problem with that. Archaeomancer gets back the instants and sorceries that you've been copying, lets you do it again. Good value all around. Azami, Lady of Scrolls. You're not going to do too much attacking with this deck, really, so having your wizards be untapped and as draw engines, solid. Consecrated Sphinx, you're drawing cards. Most often, it's not going to last more than one rotation of the table, but even if you get 2 or even 3 draw triggers off of him, he's done more than enough. Docent of Perfection, cast an instant sorcery, get a wizard. Have 3 or more wizards, flip them. He's beefy enough to begin with, but you're also really wanting him for the flip, which is the final iteration. 2/1 and flying to all your wizards. And you still get a wizard token whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, which, if you find yourself having to be on the offensive, getting a 2/1 buff is always pretty good, plus evasion. Next, we've got Dualcaster Mage, who is just going to help you with your copying instants and sorceries to get more value. Glen Alondra, in addition to being a wizard and thus helping with a bunch of your other wizard-related nonsense, is a sack counter-target non-creature spell, which can help you with getting off a high cast instant sorcery that you're copying, or just help protect from a board wipe or something. Goblin Electromancer just makes instants and sorceries cost 1 less, which some of the stuff, since you're wanting to copy a bunch of stuff, it's more mana intensive, and this helps lighten a bit of the load. God Eternal Kefnet. So, pulled this with War of the Spark. Still experimenting with it, but being able to essentially get free casts, well, not so much free casts, but cheaper casts, is always pretty good. And even though it says that you copy a card, a instant sorcery that's revealed, you're still casting it, so it's going to interact really well with a lot of the other stuff we're going to see a little later on. Is Chronarch? Same as Archaeomancer, just gets back an instant or sorcery, copy it again, good value. Jace's Archivist. Everyone pitches their hand, draws that many cards. Draws to the greatest number of cards. If you find yourself having spent most of your hand, get a new one. Also, if you know that your opponent's got some really good stuff in hand, make him get rid of it. Lab Maniac was something that is actually new to this version of the build. Through a couple of playtests, I found that I was essentially drawing myself out because of recklessness, and suddenly realized, oh, let me put in the Lab Maniac win condition, because you're going to be drawing a lot of cards. It'd be good to have him in here. Melitish Charlatan, copy and instant sorcery. It's real simple. Mercurial Chemister. My main want for him is just being able to have another draw engine, but also the dealing damage to target creature equal to discarded cards CMC. It can be helpful, but mostly drawing cards. Naru Meha, Master Wizard. Wizard Lord, which is good because some of your wizards are kind of wimpy, but also is similar to Dualcaster Mage, where you're just going to drop her in, copy a big instant sorcery, get some value out of it. Niv Mizzet the Firemind. Draws cards. You're going to be drawing a lot of cards. You're going to be dealing a lot of damage. I don't know what else I have to say. Nivix Guild Mage. Another copy instant or sorcery. There aren't a lot of instant or sorcery ways to copy stuff. It's all mostly Riku and a few creatures. So just having this on hand whenever you want is going to be really helpful. Riptide Director. Draw a card for each wizard you control. Draws a bunch of cards. That's all I gotta say. Sigil Tracer. Unfortunately, you have to tap two wizards to be able to copy a instant sorcery, which, if you don't have much wizards or your opponent's playing a lot of let me kill some stuff, it might not be the best value, but having similar to Nivix Guild Mage, having a static copy ability is always going to be great. Snapcaster. Do I really need to explain Snapcaster Mage? Like, it's played in every format it's legal in. Pop them in. Flashback and instant sorcery. Hopefully you can copy it. Done. Sour Temptation. Let's steal a creature. Can't be the worst thing. Gives you a bit of a offensive edge if you need it. Also, just if your opponent's got something tasty, it's yours now. Teferi, Mage of Zalfur. Cast creatures on your opponent's turn. Lets you use your mana during your turn for whatever you'd like. Also, your opponent can only play spells when you play sorceries. Protects you against counter magic. Protects you from other flash nonsense, and just generally slows down your opponents. Pretty solid. Venser, in addition to being a pseudo counterspell, is also going to work really well with protecting your creatures and also bouncing back like Archaeomancer and Izzet Chronarch to be able to get a little bit more value off of them. Ral Storm Conduit. We're copying instants and sorceries. Like that's the name of the deck. The Scry 1 could be helpful, but you're mostly wanting it for the when you cast your next instant or sorcery, copy it, and you're just gonna be using him as a way to just do small bits of damage wherever you can. Chromatic Lantern, it's a rock. Also will help you out with color fixing, since like I said we're primarily blue. You're gonna want some red and green available for Riku's copying, and this will help out with that. Coalition Relic, again, it's a rock, does some color fixing, will usually give you a additional mana during your turn. You know, the little things. Commander Sphere, it's a rock. Darksteel Ingot, rock. Gilded Lotus, rock. Illusionist Bracers. I'm still playing around with this one, so I can't really speak for how like great it is. But a lot of the creatures that are in the deck have activate abilities, and being able to copy some of those is gonna be pretty good. Like drawing 6 off of Arcanus, doubling something twice with Nivix Guildmage. It seems good. We'll see how it performs. Mirari, it's another copier. Your stuff, you have to pay 3 colorless to copy a instant or sorcery, but copies, man, free spells. Primal Amulet is another way of making your instants and sorceries cost a little bit less, so you have more mana available to copy with. Also, once you've played 4, you'll be able 4 instants or sorceries. You'll be able to flip it into the Primal Wellspring, which add a mana of any color, always good. You want to use it for an instant or sorcery so that you can copy it off of the cast, which I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that at all. Soul Ring, because Soul Ring. Cast Through Time. This is a fun one. Instant sorceries have Rebound. Now, just to... People are probably going to be like, oh, so you cast a spell, copy it, it goes under Cast Through Time to Rebound, and then you get it again next turn. That seems great. That's pretty good value. And it is good value. But it's even better value when you read the text of Rebound that says that you cast the card from exile, meaning if you have Riku on board or anything else that copies stuff, you can copy it again. And it works really well with, they're not in the deck, but with stuff like Regrowth, Recollect, and all that, where you can get back multiple cards, including themselves. It's really cool, and it's really dumb, and I love it. Exploration, playing extra lands is always going to be good, and you'll see once we get into the instants and sorceries that you're going to be getting a good amount of lands usually, and plus you're also drawing a bunch of cards, so being able to play as many lands as possible to help to help strengthen your mana base, to have more mana available for larger casts and copies. Always good. Heuristic Study draws cards. Most people are either not paying attention and they'll miss the trigger. It's not on you. But if they do pay for it, that's one less mana that they have to play other stuff, which is great. Swarm Intelligence. This is another really fun one. It's also foil, because why not? When you cast an instant sorcery, copy it. Seems good. Seems fine. 1,000-Year Storm. When you cast an instant sorcery, it's basically your instants and sorceries have Storm, where you copy it for the number of spells played before it. Now, if you're playing really big spells each turn, you might not get that much value off it, but depending on how late you are in the game, play a 3 CMC spell, play a 2 CMC spell, and it's only instance of sorceries that it counts. And then you play a big one, and you copy it a couple of times. Seems good. Wilderness Reclamation is just going to untap all your lands at the end of your turn, which is fine. It frees up mana for counter spells, general instants that you might have wanted to hold on to. It's alright. Alright, so Beacon of Tomorrow. You take an extra turn. Goes back in the deck. This is one of the main things you're going to want to copy. You're going to want to take as many extra turns as you can. Just to either get what you need to win or just to straight up win. Also, if you draw out your deck, you play a beacon, guess what? You always have a card to draw. You never lose. It's great. Bribery. Steal a creature out of an opponent's deck, copy it a couple times, get multiple creatures. Copy them with Riku. Good value. Cultivate. Tutors for lands. Does some fixing. Explosive Vegetation. Same thing. Hull Breach is destroy target artifact, enchantment, or both. Copy it a couple of times, get rid of some rocks, get rid of some enchantments. It's fine. Kodama's Reach, same as Cultivate and Explosive Vegetation. Praetor's Council. Having the maximum hand size is going to be great. So you're going to be drawing a bunch of cards. Your hand's going to be huge. You don't want to pitch any of those cards. If you had to pitch them, get them back. Also, anything that you've already played, get it back, cast it again, copy it. Good stuff. Attempt with Discovery. Get any land, put it onto the battlefield. Great. If you're able to copy it a couple of times, get more lands. It's not just basics. So you can get duels, you can get utility lands. It's fine. If your opponents may or may not buy into it, but if they do, you get more lands. Time Stretch, which is also foil because of course it is. For 10 mana, take two extra turns. I know it says target player. It's always going to be you. Copy it a couple of times, you're going to see a ton of extra turns, and your opponents might actually just be like, I'm not going to sit here and watch you go through 6, 8, 20 turns in a row. Let's move on to the next game. Which means you win. I see no problem with that. Time Warp, same thing. Get an extra turn. If you copy it, cool. Beast Within is just, standard removal. Don't think I really need to explain it too much. Blue Sun Zenith. Draw a bunch of cards. If you copy it, you get even more cards. You actually want to copy it to be able to really maximize the number of cards that you can really get. If you have Consecrated Sphinx out, make your opponent draw cards so that you draw twice as many. With Niv Mizzet, you're dealing a bunch of damage right there. Maybe you'll be able to clear out the board or just point it all at someone's face. It's fine. Chaos Warp might protect your creatures. Also deals with removing a threat off the board. The only problem is you have to kind of spin the wheel. You might get something worse. You might get something that's not. You might just get a land, which may be good depending on what your situation is. Quarter Calling
Tutor up a creature, put into play, copy with Riku. Copy the cord. Get several creatures. Seems fun.
Comet Storm is another card that you absolutely want to copy while paying as much mana as you can. Just make a giant Comet Storm. Copy it a bunch of times. Point it at all your opponent's faces. Hopefully win. Counterspell, because Counterspell. Cyclonic Rift, again, something I probably don't have to explain. Dig Through Time. Pseudo Tutor. Copied a bunch of times. You might be able to get access to a bunch of good answers, a bunch of good tools. Also shave off some stuff that you might not really be needing for the next couple of turns. It's fine. Electro Dominance is another fun thing. Deals X damage to any target, so point it at an opponent's face. And then you can cast a card with converted mana cost X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. It is a cast, so any of your copy stuff that cares about casting will trigger off of it, and you'll be able to copy those casts. So, Swarm Intelligence, Thousand Year Storm, Riku, all of it cares about it. Plus, if you have copied the Electro Dominance a couple of times, not only are you pointing more damage at more faces, but you're also casting more free cards. Always great. Always fun. Increasing Vengeance, copy an instant sorcery, flash it back, copy it again. It's fine. Corrosion Grip, removal, split second, always great. Mystical Tutor the instant sorcery, usually at end of the opponent's turn before yours. Get a tool you need, get a potential win con, just get something that would be fun. Plasm Capture, it's a counterspell which will also give you some free mana, so you'll be able to use that into your own casting. It's not bad. Spell Crumple, it's a counter. Alright, so we're just going to quickly run through all the lands. So, Breeding Pool, Command Tower, couple of forests, Hinterland Harbor. Like I said, it's primarily blue. A couple of mountains, Reflecting Pool, Reliquary Tower. Riptide Laboratory is going to help you protect your wizards. Also, same thing with Venser, Bounce, Snapcaster, Archaeomancer, is Chronarch. Get some great value out of it. Always good. Rootbound Crag, Steam Vents, Stomping Ground, Sulphur Falls, and Temple of the False God. Alright, so that concludes the Riku of Two Reflections deck tech. Again, remember it is Wizard Tribal without a degenerate Kiki Jiki Pestermite combo. You still there's plenty of other ways to build it. You can have it be just creature based with a aggro teamer good stuff. You can have it be spell slingers, which is mostly just you are primarily instant and sorcery teamer good stuff. But it's all like it. The biggest things to remember with Riku is plan out how you're going to spend your mana.
because a lot of the stuff can be very color intensive, and finding that you're short a blue or red or green when you had this whole big plan already started in motion, it's going to be a little bit embarrassing. So expect some complaints about slow play because you're trying to figure out your stuff. But overall, Riku of Two Reflections is a lot of fun to play. I actually prefer the Wizard Tribal to every other version I've done, and hopefully this has helped you with your own Riku build and has given you some ideas. So thanks for joining me. If you liked the video, comment, subscribe, ring the whole nonsense, and we will see you on the next one. Bye. So I actually totally had a afterthought and forgot to showcase this stupid little thing, which, if I can get it in focus, is my own custom extra turn counter, because I'm going to be taking a lot of extra turns with this deck, and I needed a way to keep track of them that wasn't just a D10 sitting somewhere over on the board. It's really cool. It's not for sale, and it's got a quote from Doctor Who about time travel. I really enjoy it, and everyone hates it, but likes it at the same time. So yeah, there's that, and I just want to show that off. Bye.